All right, so I am excited about this week's Tuesday training, all about events. So I was kind of on the fence. What did we want to talk about this week with it being the end of Pink Week? I know we've all been super busy working our VIP groups, events, parties, so I wasn't sure what would be a good topic. But events is really good, even though we are right in the thick of event season. It's always good information to have in your business. So I'm going to talk about events, how to get them, where are the best places to look for events, what you actually need to work an event, some of the little tips and tricks that I've learned along the way, how to actually work at the event and talk to people, and then finally how to take those contacts that you meet at the event and turn them into future VIPs, hostesses, and hopefully even team members. So first of all, getting events. That is always really hard for people until you actually start doing them, because the best place to find new events is at events. So I started off with a small local event, and I want to find the picture for you guys when we get off of here, and I'll post it on Posh Perfection. But the first event that I ever did was a really small, it wasn't like a family picnic, it was like a neighborhood event on the military base that we lived on at the time. And it was completely free to do. And I had like nothing. I brought my own little table. I got a tablecloth from the Dollar Tree. I had very few events, very few products, because this was the first event that I had ever done. So when you're first starting off, look for something like that, something local, whether it's at the community center, in your neighborhood. If you have a friend who also has a business, talk to them and see if they have any connections to events. If you're coming up completely empty-handed, you can search online. So if you go online, even on Facebook is great. If you type in like the area that you live in and then events, different things will pop up. So I would just start reaching out to people through those events that you find online. Just be careful. I don't want anyone searching for an event online and finding something that's $200 or $300 to set up at, and you have no idea what kind of foot traffic it's going to be, what the person is like who's coordinating this event, what kind of advertisement there is. Be careful when you first start out. You want to start small and kind of work your way up. Now, once you do get into an event, networking with the other vendors is super important. I always make friends with the people on both sides of me, whether they sell something similar to me, completely different, uninteresting, it doesn't matter. I always talk with them and talk to them about, have you ever done this event before? How has it been for you? What is your favorite event to do in this area? Do you know any great event coordinators that you love? Talk to them and get information from them. That is how I find 90% of my events. Once you have a good network around you, people who have businesses in your area, you can constantly work together with them. Oh, let's check out this event, or you do this event and I'll do that event, and let's see which one is better. And you guys can kind of trade advice on what events in your area are worth your time. So that is really how you go about finding events. The best thing to do is, once you get into an event, meet all the other vendors, trade business cards with them, connect with them on Facebook. If there's a networking group in your area that like meets monthly, I would encourage you to do that. There's one here and they charge for it, which I don't really love, because I feel like the point of networking is just to get together and talk, not to anyone to make money off of it. So I actually don't participate in my local one, but in my old town, actually down in San Diego, we had a small group of us, and there was probably 20 or 25 of us, and we would meet monthly and just kind of talk about what's going on in our businesses, what kind of sales we're having. Like right now with Facebook being all crazy, that would be something that we would discuss. How are you overcoming that? What have you found to be successful? What events do you like? And if there is no networking group in your area, start one. I should actually do that. I should start one that's free that people don't have to pay for, because it can be such a huge resource. And it's just nice to have other people to talk business with that aren't necessarily posh people, because you kind of see like, oh, that's happening with you too, or oh, it's not just me, that's a common thing in retail right now. So if you don't have a group, feel free to create one. Okay, so once you have the vendor event locked in, when you're preparing for the event, keep it simple. Don't overextend yourself with a ton of inventory in stock, because you don't know what people are going to want. You want to have some stuff on hand, because people like that instant gratification. They want to try it, smell it, buy it right there. But don't overdo it. If you're starting at a small event, just get a couple hand creams, a couple soaps, some lip balms. They can do the Build Your Own Posh to meet you. Maybe you have 2 flats of fizzy that you can mix together. You can trade with people locally to get more bath bomb scents, but don't go out and buy a ton of stock. Also with fixtures, I actually have a YouTube video on this that I will link below this once I download the recording, but I have a whole video about my setup. A lot of people ask me, where did you get that display? How did you do this? How did you do that? And I actually laid it all out in a video to make it really simple, because it actually is all very simple. Before I got my displays that I use now, which I got those at Hobby Lobby, I used to take my boxes that I would get my posh orders in, like the bigger ones, and I bought pink wrapping paper and wrapped them, and so they like created some height on my table, and that's all I used. I had a pink wrapping paper and then a silver and white polka dot wrapping paper, and I used those to create height on my table because I didn't have any money to invest in displays at that time. I also went to the Dollar Tree and got like some of the picture frames, and then I found some images that I liked on graphics groups, saved them, printed them out, and put them in the picture frame to put on my table. And that is what I did for my first event. And I honestly still use some of that stuff now, because it's cheap, it's easy to transport. If the picture frame breaks, I don't care, because it was $1. The little gold plates that I use are from the Dollar Tree. So as you're shopping around, or if you're going to start getting into events, always keep your eye open for cheap little things that you see that you think, that might be awesome on my event table. For the displays, if you're outside, make sure that you have some, like if you have a tent, make sure that it's weighted down. You don't want that to fly away. Make sure that you have tablecloths. You don't just want to set it up on table. I prefer the look of the tablecloths going all the way down to the floor, but everyone is different. You can get really creative with setting up the kit, having little samples. And then something that's really important is to have a jar for drawing slips. So you want to have some kind of jar, and I always recommend that it's a clear jar, because you want people to see that others have entered your drawing. And so I have a sign that says enter to win a spa night, and then I have my little pad of drawing slips, which I got off the portal, sitting in front with a pen. And as people are smelling stuff, if they're getting ready to like walk away without purchasing, I say, oh, don't forget to enter the drawing, you can win some free products. Or if they are buying something, I'll say, okay, well, I take your payment, go ahead and enter the drawing so that you can be, so that maybe you can win the spa night or whatever it is that I'm giving away that time. That is the most important thing. I kick myself for all the times that I have done events, gotten contact information, and not followed up, because you never know who put their name in there that is truly interested in posh, or who walked away that you didn't even ask to get their contact information. And a lot of times when you start doing events, your mindset is like, say you pay $50 for your booth, you're like, oh my gosh, I have to sell $200 in order to make that $50 fee back. But you can't think of it like that. I am a numbers person, so my mind always goes like that, still to this day. But the bigger picture is that those contacts that you're gaining, if you don't sell that much product that day, you don't know what those contacts are going to lead you to. You could be recruiting your next rock star at that event. You could be gaining 5 new VIPs who are going to purchase from you every other month for the next 12 months. and that's going to pay you long term. So try not to focus on how much you're selling at the event. The more that you can sell, obviously, the better, but truly the more contacts that you can get, that you can continue to work into your business, that is where you want, that's your bread and butter at the event. Okay, so that's everything with the event. And then the final step is taking all of that contact information and following up with it. So a lot of people ask, what do you do with the contact information afterwards? I've done a lot of different things. I've tried, I feel like I've tried it all. At first, I would kind of let them sit, and like the following week, I would either text or email the people. And what I would do is I would send an email that said, it was so nice to meet you at such and such event. I saw that you were interested, because on my paper it says you're interested in getting a newsletter, joining my group, blah, blah, blah. And I would say, I saw that you're interested in joining my VIP group, or more information on the kit, or you just want to be part of my newsletter. And so I would follow up with them like that and kind of give them the option to contact me back. And that didn't really work, because a lot of people just get emails and delete them, right? Our inboxes are like full every morning when we wake up, so we just delete, delete, delete. So then I tried text messaging, and I think that text messaging so far has been the most successful for me. So what I do is I get all of the contact information, and I go through and I find the ones that say that they're interested in learning more, joining my VIP group, anything like that that they checked. I send them a text message, and I no longer wait a week to do it. I do it like that night when I get home, or the next day, or the following day after. You don't want to wait more than 2 or 3 days, because at that point they've forgotten about you. So if they came to your booth and they really tried something, and you follow up with them within 24 hours, it's going to be fresh on their mind that they really did like that product and that they were interested in learning more. And so I would send them a text message just saying, it was so great to meet you at the event. I am so excited that you love the Posh products, and I can't wait to get you into my VIP group. Here's the link. Go ahead and find me on Facebook and send me a friend request, and I will get you added into the group. Anyone who joins my group within the next 2 days from the event is entered to win a free product. And so you're kind of giving them an incentive to join the VIP group on top of getting in connection with you on Facebook. So I have been doing that. Once you get them into your VIP group, if I always offer at the event, like when I'm talking to them, I'll say, make sure to put your information on here, because if you're interested, I'll send you a deluxe sample pack with more information on Posh, because a lot of people haven't heard about Posh. And so when you're meeting them at the event, it's a lot. They're looking at the products, you're talking to them, they're trying it. But really there's so much more to Posh that you want to share with them, right? And so the best way to do that is through some kind of package, or I think a package is best, because I'll put the catalog, I'll put a couple samples, I'll put a handwritten card, and then it gives you something to continue following up on. Because if you connect with them via email, Facebook, your VIP group, text message, and you just add them to the group and that's it, it just becomes another person on your email list, another person in your VIP group that you haven't really built any more connection with. So the next step would be sending them that package and then continuing to follow up with that, just like you would any other contact that you had. And so that kind of flows into other trainings that we've done, where you send them the package, you set the expectation of when you're going to follow up, and you continue to keep in contact with them until you reach either they're going to be a great customer, you're going to treat them as a fabulous VIP, they're interested in learning more, they want to be a hostess, whatever it might be. So that's really it. But the biggest thing is those contacts at the events. If you watch Pat's video, she talks about your funnels. So you have your 3 funnels, your customers, your hostesses, and your potential recruits, and you always need to keep those full. And when you're doing events, that's a great way to get a ton of new people into those funnels. And I've met people, and I have one person who I can think of off the top of my head, and I met her at an event 3 years ago, and we immediately connected because she had twins and another baby, just like I had twins and my daughter Addison. And so we started talking about that, and I had her fill out the form. And as soon as she walked away, I wrote on the top twin mom, because I knew that I have more in common with her than the average person. So I really wanted to just connect with her to kind of, not like I want to be her new best friend, but I felt like I had something in common with her. So I wanted to keep in touch with her, whether it was about Posh or not. And so I ended up finding her on Facebook, and we connected. She joined my VIP group, and she never bought anything or participated in the group for over a year and a half. But I would follow her on Facebook and talk about the babies, and she would follow me. And then 18 months later, she's like, I've been following your Posh journey. It's so fun. I think I'm ready to try some products. And so although our relationship at the beginning, it started by meeting at a Posh event, but really when I kept in touch with her, it wasn't about Posh at all, yet she was in my group. And then 18 months later, she ended up purchasing, and she eventually joined our team. And so it's really good at events when you can talk to people and kind of get to know them a little bit, even though it's busy and you have a lot of people coming through. And then after they walk away, make a note on the drawing slip that they put in, twin mom or love BFF or wants more information on the kit. That way, when you go to follow up with them, you have more of a personal touch. That's huge as well. So I hope that helps you guys. Finding events, starting out small, don't overextend yourself with inventory. Be smart with that. Network, find connections with people, find maybe a group to join to get to know more business owners in the area and what events are good and not good. And then finally, making sure that you are working the event to get contacts that will continue to work for you in your business for months and years to come. So I hope that is helpful. If you guys have any questions, please feel free to unmute yourselves. I am happy to answer any question you have, whether it's about events or anything else Posh related. Let me know. And I will post on Posh Perfection. I'll save this onto YouTube like I do. And then on Posh Perfection, I will share the picture of the first event that I ever did, and then the video of my event setup for you guys, because I think that that's helpful to see that, just how simple it is. Because a lot of people think of events and think like, oh, I don't want to get all that stuff, or that looks like a lot of time and money, and it really doesn't have to be. So thank you guys all for joining. If you come up with a question after this, please feel free to post it on the team page. I'm happy to answer them at any time.